Hey everyone. So I wanted to make a video about stuff that's happening right now in Canada, specifically about this trucker convoy or whatever you want to call it. And I'm gonna link a video that Russell Brand made, and he raised a lot of important points regarding the convoy. And I'm not gonna give the details of everything there because it's not the specific event that I want to talk about. It's just the meaning behind it that I want to touch upon. So if you don't know, basically there's like this convoy of trucks heading to Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada, and they're going to basically stand up to our government and wanting them to end these mandates. And and at this point, it's no longer about vaccines or anything like that. This isn't like a pro or anti-vaccine thing, although Justin Trudeau, with his very dangerous language, has labeled on he's very good with this othering and creating this idea that unvaccinated people are dangerous and racist and all these other things, and that they're a fringe minority, the people who are part of this convoy. But this convoy is not unvaccinated people, it's everybody. It's unvaccinated, vaccinated, pro, anti, whatever, whoever. There's a lot of people that are just against these mandates because, as someone who from the start has worked as an essential what is it essential service and frontline worker or whatever you want to call it. I've seen my employer make billions in profits during this time, and these other people have been struggling. And as far as and I said it before, like, the issues that we have weren't because of COVID. They were already existing, and COVID just highlighted it. And the same with our healthcare systems here. COVID didn't cause the issues in our hospitals. We were already having these problems pre-COVID, and then COVID just exacerbated it and really put the spotlight on it. And that when you already have this frail system, it's going to collapse when this stuff happens. So it was inevitable that it was going to happen. So this is so they're struggling because they're drowning with these issues and everything, and that's happening, and they want to like blame it on this fringe minority of people who are unvaccinated. But the reality is that these problems were already existing because the system is not designed to help people, to benefit the people. We are in this system where the people who are benefiting are obviously the top people. The middle class is disappearing, and the gap between those who are wealthy and who are not wealthy, the poverty range, is widening. And as inflation continues to happen and we don't make enough money to pay, we can't even like afford housing in Toronto, and it's just, gone up exponentially, and we can't keep up with it, and everything is just broken. So to me, this protest is the people being fed up. We're tired of these mandates and things where the government's not doing anything to help the people. They're not making any action towards a system, creating better infrastructures to help and benefit the people. They're not doing that, and they never had the intention of doing so. And so these people standing up for that is a hope. It's a hope for maybe an overhaul or a collapse of the system to create something new. To me, it is a hope of that. And I know that the media is painting this as some racist white nationalist thing, which is false. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are racists out there, just as like there are racists everywhere that like to piggy bank onto things to whatever, to make their voice heard. But that's not what the movement's for. They've made it very clear. They put out lots of statements and information that they will not. It's a peaceful protest, and people are just standing up. They're rising up together, and it is not a fringe minority. It is a lot of people. At this point, it's like hundreds of thousands of people, and it's sparking something within people worldwide. And now we have other countries joining in on this. We have so many of our brothers and sisters from the USA joining us in this convoy. And you would know that it's not unvaccinated people, because the unvaccinated people couldn't even cross the border. So these are vaccinated people coming to join us. It's not a fringe minority. This isn't a vaccine debate. This is people standing up for our rights. And I've been an activist for the longest time, and I know that people have been awakening. There's been a huge shift with awakening lately, and people are tired. They're finding their voice. Their throat chakras are opening up. They're tired. They want to speak up. They want to stand up. They want to do all these things. We want change, and it's happening now. And people feel inspired. They feel inspired. They feel hopeful seeing these truckers, and it's it reminds me of, if you have any J.R. Tolkien fans in the house, it reminds me of when the Ents went to war, and Frodo and his friends were all, they're just little, they're hobbits. What can they do? So they're going around trying to like talk to the elves and the different people to help to, do this war. And then finally they talk to the Ents, and the Ents are like, yeah, we're not going to get involved. We're not going to get involved. Like, the truckers, they're so busy. They're just by themselves, which is like, obviously we can say like, this is ridiculous that these mandates were placed, because it isn't about safety. If you're imposing a mandate on a truck driver who's literally the least at risk because they're by themselves in the truck for hours and hours and hours, when we're already we're struggling with supply and demand issues, and having drivers, and I know in the US it's even worse. So we have a huge supply and demand issue due to whether the virus and other things. So why would you mandate something to let people struggle and be without even more, when the necessity of having the goods is more important than the risk that they have being on their own? Like, there's no logical explanation for that anymore at this point. And so anyway, so the truckers have always, they're busy. They work long hours. They're just driving for hours and hours, just hauling our goods, every single thing that we need across the country, across the borders. And so they don't need to participate in those things. And so now they are, because they're being affected by this. And so we have everyone uniting and standing up for one another. And now the truckers standing up against them, bringing their trucks. It reminds me of the scene when the Ents, they get to when they get to the edge of the forest, and he sees that the trees have been burned down. He's like, these are my friends. And then he's like, the Ents are going to war. And so the Ents all get up and they all go to war. And then everyone's like right behind them, and they're all united. Everyone is united for the greater good. And it just has that feeling right now. It has that feeling. To me, it does. And I can see that more people are shifting. All the people that were afraid to speak up and hiding in the sidelines are now coming out. There is no fringe minority. There's no fringe minority. And they know that. And that's why they're trying so desperately to paint this in a different light. And that's okay, because I know the truth, and they can continue to try to push whatever propaganda they want, but people are waking up and people are standing up, and it's just going to get bigger. The momentum is there. We have the momentum, and I feel incredibly hopeful for that. And I just wanted to share that. And I hope, and for those of you who've been struggling during this time, I know that it's been quite the last couple of years, like, have just been the icing on the cake of what's been already like a hard time for everyone, for people throughout like our journey here. And this is just the icing on the cake, and we've had enough. This isn't about COVID or the vaccine anymore. It's far more than that. And there isn't anything in place to actually benefit us, to protect us, for the people, to give us power, to give us a voice. It's not made that way. It's designed for the top people to succeed and to prosper. And we can't even get the spoils. And if you don't see that at this point, and you don't understand that, and you don't recognize that, then that means that you are basically thinking that you can be one of those people, that you have the opportunity. Um, like, I don't even know how to say this. Like, you think that that's not true, that we don't have this divide and that there's this massive gap between the top people and the bottom people, which there is now. There's like, those statistics show that. So anyway, I just wanted to give my 2 cents, and that I'm support our truckers wholeheartedly. I support the movement. I support us standing up for our rights and freedoms, because there always has to be choice. There always has to be choice, and that is incredibly important. And I support them 100%. I stand with them, and I am so proud of the people who are, showing up all over the world. In Italy, that so much support there, and all over Europe. Australia is starting their own convoy, and I just feel really proud. I feel hopeful, and yeah, I just I never thought, like, I knew that the system had to collapse, but I didn't think I would see it in my lifetime, and now I might. I might see the beginnings of that. And if it doesn't happen now, at least I know that we're having that momentum towards that, because people will not are not going to take this shit anymore. So you can quarantine all you want, Justin Trudeau, but you are going to have to be held accountable, and so are all these other so-called leaders who are not leaders by any means. You will all have to be held accountable for your actions. Okay? Stop trying to blame your inactions or actions on people who are the fringe minority, as you put it, and start being accountable for your own actions and our shitty systems, our shitty infrastructure, healthcare infrastructures, the fact that we don't have enough programs for mental health, for for recovery and addiction and all those types of things. We don't have enough of those types of programs available to people, and you don't even we don't even have paid sick days. So it's like, how could you tell me that you care about the safety and the health of people when we don't even have, like, literally not even one, we don't even have one paid sick day? Like, so there's no logic to any of this at this point. And I've been very involved in workers' rights for the longest time. I'm a very, strong involvement in labor activism, and so, and human rights. And I just want to say that there's just nothing to justify any of this anymore at this point. So I'm happy that this is happening. I support it 100%. And I love the video that Russell Brand made about it. He put, like, he just eloquently said, like, all the key points that are really important to understand here, and I hope everyone has a chance to watch it. I will link it down below. Enjoy his video, and I stand with the convoy to Ottawa, convoy to freedom, whatever it's called. I stand with them 100% in solidarity. Anyways, hope you're all staying good, stay hopeful, and that's all. Have a good one. Bye.